Well. It's the wee hours of the morning, so what's up, YouTube? We are back in the bathroom once again for the review of Season 2, Episode 10 of The Pink P-Valley. What a season finale this was. Woo, woo, woo. So, as I was saying, we here for Season 2, Episode 10 of P-Valley. The episode was called Mississippi Rule. Yo, when I tell y'all, I call myself watching or doing binge watching of Season 1 of Raising Kanan until it was time for P-Valley to come on. Because I wanted to be ready for Raising Kanan at midnight too, right? When I tell y'all, I started dozing off at between 10 and 10:30. I woke up and I saw the clock and I said, whoo. I knew as I'm not going to make it to midnight. So I was like, I'm just going to take me a nap. And whenever I wake up, that's when I'm going to watch P-Valley and Raising Kanan. So it is now about 2:40 in the morning. And I finished watching P-Valley, I want to say about 40 minutes ago. It's taking me this long to get myself together and get my thoughts together to do this review. I was looking at it like, oh my God. And these were my thoughts going in. Oh, they about to wrap it all up with a bow. Because I kept remembering Brandy Evans' words that the way they shot and the way the storyline was going in Season 2 is like, basically, it might not be necessary for Season 3 because of the way the storyline, it was going to wrap up. And that's what I was thinking it was doing. But some things happened at the end to let me know that might not necessarily be true. They left it an opening that they could have a good Season 3, some good storyline for Season 3, if they so choose. Or if they get picked up. I wish they would pick it up because this show is so freaking good. The way she wrote it, kudos, Katori. Cool fucking doze. This show is so good. But let's get into the season finale. So it's still the night of the grand reopening. And like episode 9 ended with Uncle Clifford sitting in front of the mirror looking at Keyshawn's last words. It picks up doing the same thing. Okay. I wanted to kind of go in order, but I'm not. Because I'm doing this off the top of my head. No notes, okay? So, and I don't want it to be real long like my last 2 reviews was. I like to give a good detailed review, but it's not like I'm getting a whole lot of views for my efforts. So, I'm going to give y'all what I got off the top of the dome. So, it picks up Uncle Clifford in the back of the club in the dressing room. I believe was it Mercedes? And Murder came back there, I think, and saw her crying and asked her why she was crying. Was it Grandmother Ernestine? And she said, yeah. She said she wouldn't drink the water. So Grandmother Ernestine had made it through the COVID. And around episode 8, I started believing that Grandmother was going to survive the COVID. And she did. Thanks. We didn't lose Grandmother. We also find out, like, it gets to be the next morning. They leave the club. It gets to be the next morning, and we find out who won the mayoral race. Now, the night before, Andre and Brittany, his wife, they have it out. They're going back and forth. She saying, this what you did to get back at me and all that kind of stuff. And he asks Haley to leave. So Haley leaves to go outside. They finish their argument and their whole conversation. It all boils down to Haley, before she goes outside, she said people lining up because the results must be in. So you getting the crowd out here. So you need to come out and address the crowd or whatever. So the conversation between Andre and his wife. She always was in love with Dante, but she married Andre. She loved Andre too. She wanted to. I'm guessing she came to try to make the marriage work, and she knows that he didn't have sex with Haley. He told her that he was in love with Haley or whatever. So I don't know how that's gonna go. Haley never got to tell him what it is that she wanted to tell him. We see him and his wife go outside and to address the supporters or the crowd outside and the press. We see him get a phone call. It's Haley in the audience calling him. But at the same time he get a call, we see Patrice Woodbine getting the call as well. And it's Wayne Kyle calling her. So the results are in. Patrice Woodbine is now mayor of freaking Chucalissa. Patrice Woodbine won the mayor race to be the mayor of Chucalissa. And she even said, now I get to be mayor of Sodom and Gomorrah. Whew, she got to wear the hat. She told Mercedes she's going to wear the hat of mayor and still being bishop and running her own church. But she's the first elected black female mayor of Chucalissa. Remember, Tydell was the first mayor. Now, black and female. She's the first. Uncle Clifford wakes up in the morning. He in bed. They in bed together. No. Let me go back. I said I wasn't going in order. So let me just get everybody's story out the way. Haley and Autumn. Haley, Andre, or whatever. So yeah, so Andre wins. He's the mayor of Chucalissa. He's it's like the next day, I want to say. No. Andre loses the mayor campaign, the mayor race, and he's not the mayor of Chucalissa, okay? So he addresses, it's like the next afternoon, next day, or something like that. After he addressed the people the first time, he says that he's gonna be he's moving back permanently. The mayor race, the race for mayor, brought him back home. Chucalissa born and raised. He want to come home and he want to open up a law firm in Chucalissa. And his wife is by his side. Brittany is still right there. And Autumn is kind of like looking on. Then we see him outside greeting people. It's a bunch of women. Even though he had his wife in the video from before in the press conference or whatever from the news, it's all these women bringing different dishes or whatever. And at some point he gets to Autumn. Autumn brings some cigars, tells him that she might be a rich woman. She don't know, because he know all about her selling the pink for the big dick offer. Remember, all season she kept talking about she's getting this big dick offer for the pink. Not only did Patrice Woodbine win the mayoral campaign, she won the race and her referendum passed. And from what Autumn is telling Andre, she kind of wanted the referendum to pass because she feels like with that can bring, if the referendum, some kind of way she can use that to up the ante and get more money out of Georgie, right? So she congratulates Andre on deciding to stay and all that, gave him the cigars, lit one for him, put it in his mouth and lit it for him. And then when she went to go walk off, he said, "What did you want to tell me last night?" And I forgot when she turned around and said congratulations or something. She just went on and walked off. She said she was leaving. She not staying. She walked off. She calls Georgie. And, she talking her big girl shit. And she like, the referendum passed. This, that, and so forth. And now I feel like Because you still need the pink. You still need that land to build the casino. I think I want $15 million at this point. Georgie told her. And Georgie got a newspaper in her hand with Patrice Woodbine's picture. And then she talking to Autumn and saying, I don't need the land that the pink sits on, dear. I have the land that I need. We're going to build someplace else. And Autumn is like, what? You know, she flabbergasted. Georgie said, I told you that was my last and final offer when we were at the salon. Goodbye, bitch. Hangs up on her. And when she flips the paper like this, we see the small picture of Corbin Kyle. Uncle Clifford then taught Corbin something. That whole speech about sometimes when you can't get to the water, you got to bring the water to you. And remember, when he told Corbin that Corbin was working on the irrigation system at the farm, and it wasn't working. But once he said that to Corbin, all of a sudden water just started sprouting up. That's what he did. It's fucking water, and we get an aerial shot. No, first we get Corbin and Wayne sitting on the front porch. Corbin in the robe, Wayne in a shirt. They clink glasses together. Now, I guess they didn't wrote the other brother out of the script or out of the show, right? Because we never saw him in season 2, ever. But Corbin, I don't know if it's mimosas or orange juice, but Corbin and Wayne click and toast to each other. Because Corbin feeling great. He got money. That deal that he made with Uncle Clifford, he gave Uncle Clifford the $250. Which is what Autumn gave Uncle Clifford to own the paint. And I guess it's Mississippi rule that 30% ownership can negotiate new terms and stuff like that on behalf of whatever the business or whatever it is that you have. So he paid Clifford the $250 and made a deal with his brother Wayne to get some fucking canal, because when that water came up, that lets him know he got water property too. Because remember, the farm is not too far from the paint. He got water property too, so they gonna build a goddamn canal, and he cutting down the cotton fields to build the casino. So the casino gonna be built on his land. And he made a deal with the brother before the brother got out of the mayor's office. Passed the laws and all the shit that they needed for him to get the casino on his land. And got Uncle Clifford the money he needed to regain control and ownership of his club, so to speak. But it also comes to what comes to my mind right now as I'm talking is that leasing deal that Andre was talking about. And I'm forgetting who it was that said they was going to let Andre be their lawyer and negotiate for them. But yeah, I said, wow. So that's Corbin's storyline. Him and his brother in business together. They got the land. They got the money for the fucking casinos to get built. Autumn night. After she gets that news from George, she takes her ass down there to Uncle Clifford. Argues with Uncle Clifford in the office. Uncle Clifford told her, she said, you backdoored me. Uncle Clifford said, I just did what I had to do. Dream a new dream and figure out a way. And that's when he lets us know that the 30% rule, with him owning 30%, he can negotiate a new contract and new terms. So the $250,000 check that he got from Corbin, he signed it over to Autumn and said, well, here go your money back. So she getting the same amount of money she stole from Montavious. Clifford said, you get the hell up out of here, you snake, you mustard snake or whatever. She tries to get loud, and there's Big L and Diamond right there to help Uncle Clifford. He said, I don't care. She says, I don't care if you want to get dragged out through the door or tossed out the window, but get the hell out of my club. So Haley's gone. While while Uncle Clifford was when Uncle Clifford woke up in the morning with him and Lil Murder in the bed together. They had a really good night. Uncle Clifford asked Lil Murder how he felt about what happened the night before. Lil Murder thought Uncle Clifford was talking about whatever had transpired between them two with the sex. But that's not what she was talking about. She was talking about how he felt about his performance. Because after he cried and said Grandmother Ernestine survived COVID, we heard DJ Never Scared still on the DJ Never Scared was in the club on the ones and twos. Lil Murder came out and performed his song. And the song was, I'm guessing it was called Pressure, because he talked about the 7 pounds of pressure it take to pull a fucking gun or pull the trigger on a gun. And he talked about all the stuff. He talked about what happened with the 7 pounds of pressure. I think he put in there, in that rap, he talked about, Big Teek's murder and all that stuff like that. And I think some of the rap was about what Sadie's did to help Haley out too. And it was very fitting because after Mercedes listened to the song and yep, that's exactly what it was. After Sadie's listened to the song in the Red Room or in the Paradise Room, Murder came back out there and performed. Murder got her to put her floss on and perform next to him on stage to that song. So she danced to that. And you see Maine, Maine in the crowd looking up at them performing. Maine looking with some disgust because he believed in what Grimy Yo was saying outside. And what Pico baby mama was saying, that Murder is the one who killed Pico. But it's like, how can you be mad at Murder for killing Pico when Pico was out here making videos claiming Teek body, knowing damn well he ain't killed Teek, and you know he ain't killed Teek? Like, you can't do that, because if the shoe was on the other foot, man, you would feel the same way Lord Murder felt. That you think Lord Murder felt and took somebody out or whatever. But anyway, he looking up there, and I can see in his eyes, he not proud to see Mercedes dancing. And then when I say Mercedes was dancing, Mercedes was giving it her all in that fucking scene. She was giving it her all in that dance. But I gotta go back and look up the lyrics to that last song that he performed, because it was a nice. He was saying a lot of stuff in that fucking song, and it wasn't just about murdering people physically. It was about probably murdering stereotypes and stuff about who he's supposed to be as a man, as a gay man, as a closeted gay man, if you want to come out the closet, all that kind of stuff. It was a lot of layers to what those lyrics were saying. And it's so crazy because this group I'm in on Facebook that discusses this show, somebody put it in the replies to somebody's post. Somebody said that these people in their different personas, because Lord Murder is a saint in spirit and the devil in the flesh. I said, God damn it, that's the best way to describe him, because he is. He want to be a do-good person, but he can be the devil when he need to be. And ain't that what he said? We all God and we all the devil at points to different people. Well, he said that, didn't he, in the past episode? Oh, okay, so keep that in mind. But the episode was so good, y'all. So Lord Murder, he did his performance. As him and Cliff are having this conversation, Cliff basically says, I don't want to hold you back. So, because Murder said he going on tour that day. He leaving for the tour with Tina Snow that day. And Uncle Clifford said, oh, today? Okay. And Uncle Clifford telling him, like, go ahead. Go on and do what you got to do. Live your life. We can't live our love just inside these four walls, basically. Go on, like, don't mess up this momentum you've built for yourself, getting famous and everything, and people knowing you outside of Chuckalisa, don't mess that all up by coming out the closet. I knew what it was. I knew it was for a short time. And we got the memories of last night and the nights that we was here and grandmother Ernestine coming home from the hospital, so I don't have no reason to be lonely anymore. Ooh, walking scared me. It's probably about 3 o'clock by now. And I don't know who that is walking, but ooh. Okay, guys, so we're back after a little bit of a break. But, so Uncle Cliff tells Murder to go on and do what he needs to do for his career. Put their love on the back burner. He's 40 years old. Murder's half his age, he says, and, he's experienced a lot in life. And he knows, he's seen and done things, so he felt like he wanted to push Little Murder away. Well, Big Murder now. And push him away to go follow his dreams, his passions for his rap. So go ahead and go do the tour. So then we see my eye been jumping for all day. Whew. So we see Murder meet. No, we see Mississippi recalling what Autumn Night told her. And how to get away and how she got all her stuff in the plane to get away and go on with her life. And so we see her go open the trunk of a car and there's all this money in there. So then we see this parking lot, like a shopping center or market parking lot. We see what looks to be a big old tour bus, and we see this like old school car pulling up. And I believe the car was pink. We see it pulling up. We see they pan up the door. We see Mississippi behind the wheel. She pulls up and pulls up in a weird space next to the tour bus. The tour bus opens. The door opens on the tour bus. So who steps out but Lamarck is Big Murder. It's him coming to give Miss Mississippi the money. She was saying that he had owed her for being in the videos and doing that little tour, whatever it was, at the beginning of the season when they first had that first conversation. He was coming to pay her back all her money. So he gives her the money. He said, "You really leave?" She said, "Yeah." He said he really gonna go on tour with Tina. And she asked him, is he gonna miss Uncle Clifford? Because remember, she's the only one that know they was in a relationship. And he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna miss her." And she tells him, "But unlike me, you got a chance to go back." So she told him where she was gonna go. She said she was gonna go out to Cali. So they hug, they embrace each other, and you can tell they had a real friendship between the two of them. And he tell her to go and pick up her kids, go and get them kids and disappear or whatever. And I think, I said that she told him that he had a chance, that he can always go back to Uncle Clifford, but she can't because she got to disappear. So her new life, she got on a pink. Is it pink or is it red? It's a deep, I want to say it's like a deep pink that almost look red. It's the shorts with the little velour. It's the velour shorts and a jacket with the hood. She puts it over her head. And as soon as she put it over her head, it reminded me of Little Red Riding Hood on the way to Grandma's house. And she's going to encounter the Big Bad Wolf. And to me, the Big Bad Wolf is Derek. Because that's how they got him looking right about now. Even though he had got a haircut and got his hair colored, it looked like lightened a little bit a couple episodes ago, trying to look better, trying to look like Prince Charming. He's still a freaking wolf. We see Keyshawn pull up, and she had left the kids with Alicia. And Alicia still lived with the stepmother. She get there to get the kids. The stepmother answers the door. Alicia is once again on the steps, like she was in the scene when we saw Keyshawn go back home pregnant and crying after the first time Derek didn't beat her and choked her. That evil, wicked ass stepmother tells her she called Derek to come and pick up them fucking kids. So Keyshawn need to go home and go get her kids from Derek. She said, you called him and told him to pick up the kids? She said, yeah, girl. We ain't seen baby Wrinkle since that one time right after she was born. She's so beautiful. She gonna have long, pretty hair, too. I was so fucking mad. Now, Keyshawn gotta go back home. Keyshawn goes home. Derek is in there with the kids on the floor. It's a woman from CPS and some cops. The woman from CPS is explaining why they're there doing a welfare check on the kids. And as she's talking, Keyshawn's mind goes to all these negative things that Derek probably said to her, but we're hearing it in the voice of the CPS or the social worker. And it's like, you can't take care of no kids with your lazy ass and all this and that. Anyway, she hears all these voices saying negative things. And basically, the lady is there to say that they got a phone call from a neighbor they heard screaming. They know about the bruises that was on the child. She said, but I was on tour and I came home and I took the child to the clinic and, they didn't press charges that time. And the lady was like, yeah, but we got a phone call from a neighbor because, they was hearing screaming and stuff like every night. Derek ass then called or got somebody to call and make it seem like Keyshawn was the one abusing the fucking kids. And if she wants to keep the kids or keep being in their life, she got to stay home for at least another 6 months while they continue their investigation by coming up for unannounced visits and shit to make sure she ain't putting hands on the kids. Basically, pandering to Derek, making it seem as though it was her who put them bruises on them fucking kids. I said, you bitch. She got upset and she screamed and she ran up and she just started throwing bowls on him and he gonna cower like he the punk. And she been hitting on him too. And the cop threw her down to the floor, put his knee in her back, put her hands behind her back. They arrested her. Because from that outburst, it looks as if she is the aggressor in the house. I'm so sick about that. So sick about that. Like, damn it. Just when you thought you was about to get away. And I'm not sure if Big Bone had anything to do with this or if this was all Derek's doing. I can't tell. But I'm pissed about it. So, Grandmother Ernestine comes home from the hospital. She full of good spirits. She said this her second chance. She gonna live her life and do the things that she wanna do. So she wanna have a juke joint night at the club, but she wants it to be outside. And she said the doorbell rings. Uncle Cliff is like, who at the door, Grandmother Ernestine? He opens the door. It's Big L. Was it Diamond? I know it was Big L. No, it was Big L, Duffy, and the African. They gonna come, she said, because I want you to pull the jukebox out the office and put it in the middle of the dance floor. We're gonna have us a good old time. So she wanna go have a home, coming home from the hospital with COVID celebration. Meanwhile, she's still coughing and shit, but she back home. And Uncle Clifford looking crazy because he like, what the, Big L, what the hell you doing in my house? You know where I live. And he said, your grandmother called me. So Big L goes back to the club with Grandmother Ernestine and stuff. And they getting the club ready to have her coming home from the hospital party. Big Al and Uncle Clifford do have a conversation about Autumn and how she tried to do and how they had to, do what they had to do to get rid of her or whatever. And he said that, he really had her back this whole time, even though being the plug isn't what was in her plans. Grandmother Ernestine at some point starts to make her way up the steps of the house. As she's making her way upstairs, we hear music start, and Uncle Clifford turn around, and it's a dream sequence. Uncle Clifford goes into the living room, and Beulah, her mother, is sitting there. And she said, now, Mama, Grandma just came home from the hospital. Why are you still here? And she said, I'm here for you. I'm here to let you know that it's okay to have love. And you don't have, basically, it's okay to have love and receive love. And you don't have to keep shunning it and pushing it away, Clifford. And he said, Mama, love is pain. Love is what killed you. And she said, no, love didn't kill me. I lived my life, darling, basically. And Uncle Clifford says, I'm seeing her with the sores all over her body and her having a pneumonia. It took a toll on her. So now I'm guessing Uncle Cliff's mother was one of the people that died during the AIDS epidemic. And now was to remain, how did she get it? Was she one of the women, like, was she having sex? Was she a sex, did she work the sex trade and get it through that? Was she doing drugs and get it from that? Because Uncle Clifford has a deep rooted thing about not wanting to be one of the people that's selling drugs, remember? And so a lot of people was thinking that her mother died, as a result of something with drugs or something of that sort. So we don't know, but that her saying about the sores all over her and having the pneumonia makes me feel like her mother must have passed away from AIDS related complications or whatever. So they get back to the club, and they fixing the club up and everything. We see Mercedes at her dance place. She gets we see Mercedes at home. She hears a knock or the doorbell ring. She goes and answer it. She opens up this package that was left, and it's photos. It's the photo from the Mercedes experience that Farrah took. She calls Farrah, and Farrah tell her that was her royalties, because she did use her as inspiration to launch a new collection, and she get paid from the royalties from that. So Mercedes was like, so you owe, this is the money, this is the way you flipped it so I can get the money that Coach owed me. And Farrah says, no, this is nothing to do with the money Coach owed you. These are your royalties. That's how artists get paid, from royalties. So Coach still owed Mercedes her $40K, but Farrah gave her a nice chunk of change in that check. So she used that to go and I guess pay all the money she owed back on her gym. And we see her hanging all these, I guess all her flyers from when she danced at the Pink. And we see her hang the photo that Farrah sent her. So this is her new dream. Mercedes going to teach women how to dance on the pole. That's what I'm guessing. She and then dancing, and the music placement this whole episode, all the songs were wonderful. And the placement is just wonderful this whole episode. But she's dancing, she's swinging around the pole. And we see a bright light and somebody walking. It's Patrice Woodbine. I forgot to mention that when she was deemed mayor, she got into the office, she took Wayne Cowles' photos down. She got in the chair and leaned back in the chair till she flipped the fuck out the back of the chair. That's Patrice Wilbur flipping out. But she comes into Mercedes' gym and said, "Oh, so this what you did?" She said, Mercedes said, "Yeah, after you tried to break me down and take it from, despite what you took from me, basically stealing my money." She said, "Congratulations, Ma, on being mayor." She said, "How you gonna be mayor, Bishop?" And that's when Patrice says she's gonna try to wear both hats. But she's there because she got a phone call from Shell. Shell going into rehab. And she asked Patrice could she keep an eye out and look out for Terica while she in rehab. And Mercedes got this nasty look on her face like, bitch. And Patrice says, but I told her I already got my plate full being a pastor or bishop of a church and being the mayor of Chucalissa. And she said, so I told her, no, she said I already got my hands full. So Mercedes gave her a look and said, well, where's she at, Mom? And then that's when you see Terica come in the door. Patrice did what she needed to do to she said she told her because I didn't raise my child. I didn't raise my daughter. And here come Terica. And she told Terica, go get the rest of your stuff out the car. So Terica back home with Mercedes while Shell was in rehab. I don't know if Patrice let Shell know. She said she told Shell that it was a lot to wear them two hats. So basically, Patrice Woodbine kind of like redeemed herself from stealing. She ain't redeemed herself. Cause that shit still fucked up. But I guess she trying to make amends and get some forgiveness for what she did to Mercedes. By dropping Terica off to Mercedes and giving Terica back to Mercedes. To raise and take care of her while Shell was in the rehab or whatever. But that still don't make up for her taking her money and all the shit she did to her during her childhood, pimping her out and all that. And that shit don't make amends. Like, getting Terica back don't make amends for all of those things. But anyway, we see Mercedes and Terica pull up to her house in her yellow car. Maine out there in his blue and gold. He got the blue bandana shorts on. And he got a bandana around his head. And Mercedes gets out the car. Terica gets out and was ready to go in the house. And Mercedes said, hold up, I want you to meet somebody. So she said, man. And she said, come here, I want you to meet somebody. And she said, this my daughter Terica. And he said, oh, that's your baby girl? She said, yeah. And he smiled. And she told Terica, go ahead and start taking her stuff in the house. Terica walked away. And she asked man what he thought about her dance last night. Did he pay attention to how she was dancing and stuff? And he said, yeah, but I'd much rather you not be up there dancing next to that HVH nigga or whatever. And she said, you know, she said, well, you know, she wanted to get up there and be in her floss. It was time for her to do her thing. And he said, yeah, but it looked like you chose a side. And she said, I didn't choose a side. I'm neutral in all this. I don't have nothing to do with y'all. Basically, I don't have nothing to do with y'all street shit. He said, okay, that's cool, but let that faggot ass motherfucker know to watch his back. She said, Uncle Clifford? Watch your mouth talk about Uncle Clifford. He said, that ain't the faggot ass motherfucker I'm talking about. And Mercedes looking like, what? And she walk off. Because like I said, we all know Mercedes had no idea that Lord Murder was gay. That Lord Murder was messing with Uncle Clifford. She don't know. So, her and Tucker go in the house. They said that they about to go get dressed to go to Grandmother Ernestine homecoming party at the club. So the club all fixed up. We see everybody at the party or whatever. We see somebody in the bathroom. It's fucking Roulette in the bathroom snorting. She comes out the stall, and Nineveh is at the sink. They exchange some words. Nineveh says something about, hey, you making all that money pimping. I see what you done for Toy and all that and that. And Roulette looking at her sideways like, girl, what you talking about? And then Nineveh says, I want to be down in your stable too, because what I got, none of y'all can offer. And it's a lot of men that pay top dollar. You know, folks want to pay top dollar for what I bring to the table. And Roulette was like, what? So she takes her pinky and bips some more dope. Nineveh takes some. And Roulette says, well, I gotta be sure that you're not gonna tell Uncle Clifford. And Nineveh says, it's a lot of things I ain't never told Uncle Clifford. And remember, at Uncle Clifford's 40th birthday party, him and Nineveh got into a fight because Nineveh was locked up for soliciting. Then, remember? I mean, in season 1, where Mercedes was locked up for fighting Patrice, Nineveh was in the cell for soliciting and selling. And when they was at her 40th birthday party, her and Nineveh got into it because Uncle Clifford kept telling Nineveh that she ain't had to live that kind of life. She ain't had to do shit like that. But Nineveh wanted to be down with Roulette, and Roulette like, okay, fine, whatever. So they all there for Grandmother Ernestine's party. They playing some nice music. And Clifford got this little, you know how they do the soft waves and then curly or deep waves at the end? That's how Clifford hair is. Clifford has on a one-piece jumpsuit and it's all sequins and it's pink, a deep pink. Grandmother Ernestine on the dance floor, having the time of her life, thanking everybody for coming out, celebrate her life and stuff. And then the music changes. And Uncle Clifford turned around and like, I know this ain't. Looks over at the jukebox and who was sitting there, walks over there. He says, it's not a dream, Cliff. I'm really here. It's murder. Murder came back. And I don't know how I feel about that. Especially with I don't think it's a threat. I think it's a promise that Maine just made. So they talking. And in walks Mercedes and Terica. And I must say, you know you're not supposed to judge kids' looks. But I always said that Terica was an unfortunate looking child. And I know I ain't the best looker. I know it. But I did think that, ooh, I never said it out loud for real like that. But I was just like, ooh, that's an unfortunate looking child. But the way her hair is, she got like some bantu knots in the front and her natural hair out in the back. Mercedes got on this pretty green wrap dress, spaghetti strap wrap dress. While Terica got on this spaghetti strap foofy dress that a little girl would wear. That's what Mercedes got her in. She introduces Terica to Uncle Cliff and tells her to go on. And Terica got some pickled pig feet. Uncle Cliff tell her to go put it on the table next to the other stuff and go and make herself a plate, make herself at home. She asks Mercedes to go in the kitchen and help her doctor up some potato salad. So they go in the kitchen and they having a deep conversation. And Uncle Cliff let Mercedes know that Keyshawn gone. They ain't heard from her. They think she all right. Keyshawn is gone. She lets her know that she got the club back from Haley and sent Haley on her slithering ass away, called her a mustard color heifer or whatever. And she said, this club gonna be alright because I got my bottom bitch back. And that's when we see Mercedes get a weird look on her face. And she go in and say, she said, Cliff, I'm not coming back. I'm opening up my gym. Dream new dreams, right? And Uncle Cliff is like, oh, hell. And gives her a hug and say, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. And Mercedes said, don't look at it as me leaving you. Look at it as us all. Because Uncle Cliff said, what I'm going to do, all my main bitches is gone. Gidget gone, Keyshawn gone, and now you're gone. And Mercedes said, don't look at us as us leaving for good. Just look at it as us graduating. Because remember, that's what Uncle Clifford said about, what the hell was her name? The one that used to work there in the spot that Nineveh works in. But she graduated and was working with Ty Dow. She had went to secretary school and was working under Ty Dow before Ty Dow died. And she was also messing around with Ty Dow too. But they hug it out and they get the potato salad doctored up and take it back outside. We see a scene with some people sitting around the bar eating. It's Diamond and Big Bone is right there. And this time Big Bone don't have the pink wig on. Big Bone got her hair in a bun or some sort. Diamond gets a phone call from an unknown number. He said, let me take this call. He gets up and walk off. It's Keyshawn calling from jail. It said you got to collect call from correctional institution or jail. And he said, hello? And she said, hey, Diamond, it's Keyshawn. I guess I didn't grow my hair long enough. And he said, okay. She said, remember you said you can take care of the big... She didn't say big bad wolf, but basically, you can take care of it. Can you take care of it for me? She said the wolf then swallowed the key. No, she said the monster swallowed the key. And he said, okay. He hangs up. We saw Big Bone cut an eye when he got up to go answer that phone, right? So, alright. We get a scene with Murder and Uncle Cliff in the middle of the club, inside, while everybody else is still outside, talking. And they have the heart-to-heart that they needed to have. She asked him why he didn't leave and go on a tour. What he doing back? He said he quit the tour because he thinking that he can have his own tour. He don't want to be her opening act. He want to get it on his own, get his own name. And he want to be out in the open. Because when he first showed up, they danced a little bit in the middle of the floor. So he want to be out in the open. And Cliff was like, no, I don't want to be the reason you are held back. I don't want to be that. So then he goes into his relationship with Teak. He tells Uncle Cliff about Big Teak. He never says the name, just said, he was in jail. He spotted the guy from 2 cells down. He got the female guard to push him in the closet, and he was in the closet waiting for him. And then that was closet number 1, and it was closet 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, basically. Them sneaking around in prison, messing with each other. And until he said he feels like him sneaking from closet to closet to closet with Teak. And then when Teak finally come home, he's still sneaking. That's what made Teak feel like he don't have nothing to live for. Because he was tired of sneaking. He couldn't be himself. And he said, because Uncle Clifford said that, well, your problem is you scared. You running. You scared to let that light shine on you. You scared to live in your light. So Murder says, basically the whole Teak thing affected him. And he want to walk in his light. He ain't scared. He need to let the light shine. And he let Uncle Clifford know that the reason he came to him that night, when he came to him, it was after Teak killed himself. And Uncle Clifford hugs him. And then somebody comes and calls them outside, I believe. And, no, calls Uncle Clifford. And I know what it was. It was Big Al. Big Al said, Clifford, come, you gotta look at this. They go in the fucking office. They are negative $24,000 in the fucking hole. That fucking Autumn got the last laugh because she did that wire fraud and took all of Uncle Clifford money. So she got the fucking check for the $250K and all the money that he had in his bank account. And left it at a negative 24,700 some odd dollars. I said, fuck. Uncle Clifford fell back and screaming on the couch. And that's when Big Al said, well, it's not, my pills can help. I told you I always got your back. Uncle Clifford said, well, you might as well pass me the whole bottle. And next thing you know, we see Uncle Clifford come walking out looking like, looking like she gliding on air. She gets in the middle of that checkerboard dance floor, takes her heels off, and proceeds to get ready to dance. And that's when you hear, I think the song is called Love Ballad by LTD. But it's a beautiful song, and I know it's Jeffrey Osborne singing on it. It's that song, what we have is much more than they can see. Oh, what we have is much more than they can see. It's a beautiful song. It's like loving you. And he said something, I don't know that part after that. And then he said something about I never been in love before. What a difference. Those are the lyrics I can remember right off the top of my head. But it's a beautiful, beautiful song. I think it's called Love Ballad by LTD. If I was born when that song came out, I was really, really small, okay? But it's like something that you hear on adult contemporary stations on the radio, which I don't listen to anymore. And it's just a song that you always hear older folks play. So I've heard it several times throughout my life. It's a beautiful song. But that song starts playing and we see Uncle Clifford's hands on her waist and we see some other hands come and grab her around the waist. And the camera pans up and it's Murder behind her. Remember, Uncle Clifford is bigger than Murder. So you can't really see. Murder got to kind of like cock his head to the side so you can see him behind Uncle Clifford. And he turned around and he tongued Uncle Clifford down in front of everybody. Basically, like, I'm out the closet. Everybody gonna know I'm gay. And all the dancers, all the girls are off to the side looking on in shock. And we all are just like, Murder is like, I'm out the closet. I don't care. I don't care no more. I love you enough to be out the closet. And, they kiss. It's a slow-mo, like a dream state. Murder said, you're not dreaming. And they kiss and they dance in the middle of the floor with everybody on the side looking and clapping and everything. Grandmother Ernestine just as happy. She just is smiling. Then we see, at some point we see Andre pull up to a prison. The guard asked him what he doing there. He said, I'm here to see Abraham Watkins. So he going to go visit his father after all these years, all the times he lied. Because like he told Brittany, you know, he kept his father and his past a secret. And he asked her, so do you want to make a marriage work with who you thought I was when you got married to me? Or who I am for real? The boy from Chucalissa with the father who's a murderer. And they never showed what she said, but we do know that She's there with him when he announced that he's staying in Chucalissa and he opening up a law practice or whatever. So that happens. Then we see Diamond out in the open and looked like he was in front of the jail too, but I don't know where Diamond was. We see Diamond open the trunk and he making sure he grabbing gloves and shit like that. Next thing we know, he went to go stand up out the trunk. I said, oh shit, he about to go kill Derek for Keyshawn. He go to stand up and somebody hit him from behind. And he turned around, he started fighting back. They fucking stab him in the back. Like, in the back part, like where your lungs, I would say, or your lungs where your kidney would be. On your lower side of your back. I said, fuck. And then there's two people attacking him. They get him good and they stuff him in the trunk. And you see them take their fucking mask off. And they said, yeah, this the one who killed our lieutenant boss. Killed our boss. Our lieutenant. Lieutenant boss. It's fucking Big Bone and some cockeyed somebody. Cockeyed Joe. And Cockeyed Joe got the gun on him. And then you can see Diamond start thinking back to when he was in the war. And he fades off in his mind. But Cockeyed Joe tells Big Bone, nope. We ain't gonna make it that easy. We ain't gonna just shoot him. And I'm thinking to myself, with this scene, we see, like I said, the whole time, Big Bone was the person sent there by the Delta Doves or whatever they call, to figure out what happened to Montavious. But the thing is, just like Keyshawn told her in the last episode, you gotta be careful of them whispers because they not always true. They get stuff twisted and mixed up. So she been sitting around eavesdropping and listening to people talk. And she meaning Big Bone, she thinks she know the whole story. But remember, it ain't Diamond who killed Montavious. Diamond just got rid of the fucking body. So now, she got if they get a season 3, I'm guessing her storyline gonna be, she gonna be back at the paint, trying to figure out who actually killed Montavious. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm thinking her storyline gonna go. But they got Diamond in the fucking trunk. He ain't dead, but they didn't stab him. And that could be a fatal stab wound where they stabbed him at. Didn't I say that he was going to lose his protection? She was going to take his protection away. And she was the one. I said that shit in the last review, didn't I? So then we see a fucking bus pull up. And we see somebody getting off the bus in all fucking white. We already know who it is. They walk down this street filled with lights. To me, I never been there, but it's giving New Orleans. And they turn around and look. It's Autumn. She smiled. She got a white storm looking wig on with a red. Was her hat red or was her hat white? I can't remember, but I remember like the white off-white looking suit. And she turns around and she just smiles and the show goes off. This was a good ass season. I don't feel like that they really had any filler episodes. The only one that could be filler, but it's not really filler because it gave really good backstory into their past, which was the episode all about Keyshawn and the fairy tale. Speaking of Keyshawn and the fairy tale, I've never seen the play, the Pussy Valley play. I never saw it, but I saw somebody mention that in the play, the character Keyshawn is killed. They don't the person didn't say how she was killed, but in the play Keyshawn was killed. So I was nervous. I just knew. I said I thought somebody major was going to die this episode. But they didn't. So I was wrong. Nobody died. Katori, she wrote it in a way that make you feel very, very nervous about somebody dying. but nobody died. Lil Murder died. Big Murder was born. But that happened a couple episodes ago. It's just that he let him closet itself die. And he came out the closet in front of everybody, all the Cliff's loved ones, and everybody that's familiar with the Pink and everything. That's what died. The closeted murder died. This episode, I would say. Keyshawn's plan to get away. Her plans died with Derek doing what he did. And I'm sure Big Bone is the reason. I kind of feel, I don't know how she got in touch with him. I do not know. And maybe if they have a season 3, we'll see that. But some kind of way, something. She had to have alerted Derek that Keyshawn was going to try to leave. Because how else did he get those people, go get the kids and get them people to the house that daggone fast? And it was crazy that he all of a sudden had a freaking job too, wasn't it? But this was a very good season. I hope this video not too long. This part right here is 34 minutes by itself. This video might still, when I put it all together, it's probably still going to be about an hour. But I truly enjoyed it. I'm sad that it's gone. I hope it gets renewed for season 3. And I hope Katori comes with dropping more knowledge in season 3 and better stories. I don't know how she can top this, but I'm hoping that she can. I think everybody who was watching these videos of me recapping the show, I appreciate all of you who click on my videos and like them, all of you who subscribe to my channel. Let's get in the comments and let me know what you thought of this episode, this finale. What did you think of the storylines for the whole season? Do you think they're going to be a season 3? And where do you think it could go in season 3? What storylines can you see developing? This your girl Nick with another recap of Down in the Valley where the girls get naked. If you throwing bands, then you know she gonna shake it. 1, 2, break 'em. 3, 4, break 'em. These bitches grind hard. No, these niggas grind hard, but these bitches grind harder. Climbing up the pole just to get out the bottom. They ready for the show? We may fall walking on the sky. Look easy. Something, whatever it says. But that's been season 2 of P-Valley. I'm signing off from the recap, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it again. Don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see y'all whenever the Pink is back, hopefully. And hopefully my channel has grown more by then. But until then, peace.